Hey, welcome back to Game Hydro. Got another video about BOWBLITZ today, and we are going to be going over the top heroes in the game and make a tier list out of who the best heroes are. So let's go over them one by one. So there's 14 total heroes at this point. First one we're going to go over is a Spartan. Now, the main difference between the heroes are the skills, the breakthrough skills, which are kind of like for lack of a better term, a smart bomb. I guess if you're an old head gamer like me, you know what that means. And the stats. The stats generally are not that different from one another. So the stats are either 10 attack points, 12 attack points, or 15 attack points per level. And something similar with the health too. 100 health, 120 health, or 150 health. So we're going to go with the Spartan first. Now, ignore the actual, well, kind of, for the most part, ignore the tiers that the game gives you. We're going to make our own tier list. So the Spartan, 12 and 120 per level. The skills, you got Great Throw, which gives +1 penetration right from the outset. And then level 5 unlock, spear damage increases with each penetration. Level 10 enters a rage state when health is below half, which increases spear damage some more. And then on a support, Sparta kick on appearance kicks all nearby enemies, dealing high damage. And then at level 50, at full charge, throws Spear of Ares with increased penetration and damage. So the name of the game for the Spartan here is penetration, hitting more than one enemy at once. Get your mind out of the gutter, dear God. Over in the breakthrough side, now the ultimates here for the 2-star and 4-star unlocks for every enemy or for every hero rather, that's just general stat boosts. The ultimate gains protection from the goddess for a short while. Immune and reflects all damage. Attack is increased. Okay, so the Spartan becomes invincible and gets more attack power and reflects some damage. Pretty useful attack to have against tough bosses, especially the infamous Griffin. Overall, though, I would say this hero, pretty decent, but there's better out there. I'm going to give him B+, A- tier. Next, we got the Snow Queen. So far, let's see what the unlockable upgrade skills are. Frost magic, ice damage by default. Snowflakes create ice thorns, causing area damage. Now, what the game doesn't say here is that the so-called ice thorns that come up from the snowflakes do a lot of damage when enemies run into them. Frost affinity, slight increase in all ice damage. Now, this counts the snowflakes that Elsa over here throws as one of the ice damage things. Ice life periodically summons an ice bird to attack the nearest enemy, dealing damage and causing a freeze attack. And the ice bird also does quite a bit of damage. Summons a small snowstorm upon entry. Snowflakes hitting the ice bird explode into ice thorns, causing significant area damage and freeze effect. And then over in the breakthrough side, you got summons an icy storm that engulfs enemies, causing multiple hits and strong slowing effect. And then charge boosts for the 3-star and 5-star that increase the effectiveness of the ultimate, basically, as well as the usual stat boosts. All right. So, I keep wanting to call her Elsa. The Snow Queen stats here are about the same per level as the Spartan stats. However, there's a lot more potential for both heavy damage to enemies and heavy area damage. And for the Frost Magic one, you combine her standard Snowflake attack with penetration boosts, and God, I hate saying that word. With penetration boosts, and they start making ice thorns behind enemies after hitting them, that leads to crazy amounts of area damage. Snow Queen so far is extraordinarily effective. I am going to give her an S tier because she is insanely good. All right, next we got the Archer. 10 and 100 per level, 10 attack, 100 health. 100 health to start off with. The leveling up is a little bit more complicated for these heroes. All right. So her ultimate critical rate increased. Or not ultimate. Her main skill, I guess. Her level 1 skill. And then the critical shot, critical damage increase. Archer's Mark randomly marks an enemy. Takes high additional damage when attacked and the mark is removed. The randomness of it, I don't know how I feel about that. Support, bullet time. On appearance, you enter bullet time. And Bullseye, critical damage greatly increased on a full charge. Those skills, none of them are that impressive to me, and the stats are not great so far. But the Archer is the first one you get in the entire game. All right. The ultimate, fire waves of arrow rain to damage enemies. I actually like this ultimate because it quite literally can act like a smart bomb and just blow away everybody on the screen. Or if you save it, deal significant damage to a boss. And then arrow rain waves increase twice, as well as increasing the charging speed for the ultimate. So Archer, none of the skills blow my skirt up. I'm going B tier for the Archer. There's no elementals there. The nothing to freeze enemies. Critical boosts are okay, but nothing you can't just pick up as you gain levels. All right, the Cowboy. This is typically the second hero that you unlock here. First of all, you got axes have a small chance to briefly stun enemies. Axe stun chance increased. Fires a revolver several times randomly on ammo depletion. So that's where the gun starts to come into play. On appearance, stuns all enemies. Chance to throw higher damage silver and gold axes on attack. Those are the skills that can be unlocked upon upgrades. And his stats are on the low side, 10 and 100. For the 1-star breakthrough unlock, you got Axe Rain, which summons rows of iron axes to damage enemies. So that's kind of similar to what the Archer has going, just with axes instead of arrows. Silver axe, gold axe, etc. All right. So yeah, Cowboy. I'm considering the Cowboy fairly unimpressive here. The axes move slower than the arrows, but they have a higher, they have a larger targeting circle, so you can hit enemies a little bit easier if your aim kind of sucks. But they also fly faster than the snowflakes do. The snowflakes fly slow-ish. But overall, the Cowboy is a B tier for me. Not that impressed with that one either. Actually, I'm moving the Archer and the Cowboy down to C tier because they really don't have much going on. But, being early heroes, they do the job early in the game. But as soon as you get the Spartan and the Ice Queen, you're going to want to switch. The Poisoner, you'll try out the Poisoner early in the game. Stats are high, 15 and 150. And then skills, you got attacks apply poison, and poison bottle explodes upon impact. So, possible splash damage there. All poison damage is moderately increased. Poison enemies' attack power decreases. And when you poison enemies, it does damage over time, which is quite nice. Colorless gas inflicts stacks of poison to all enemies. Now, the more different poison effects stack up, the more damage enemies take. Attacks apply 1 extra stack, maximum stacks increased. And then for the breakthrough, summons poisonous meteors, all poison damage, heals poison master for a short while. So, so healing and high damage all in the same attack. That's pretty strong over there. That combined with the high stats, I'm giving the poisoner. You know what? The high stats, the healing, the self-healing, and the damage over time, poisoner for me is an S tier. So yeah, go Walter White over here. Next up, we got Frost, which is designed after some superhero who I can't think of the name of right now. His stats, of course, are very high, 15 and 150. The skills are Cold Veins, attacks apply frosted effect, all ice damage moderately increased. Frosted slow effect, strength increased. Freeze chance slightly increased. Freezes all enemies on appearance. Attacks against frozen enemies are always critical. Okay, wow. So, high chance of frozen enemies and critical hits against them. Alright, that's pretty nice. 1-star unlock unleashes the frost power to freeze all enemies, deal high damage to the boss instead. Alright, so Frost over here, pretty damn good. The freezing and slowing down enemies, that can help protect you from hits a bit. I'm going A tier for this one, possible A+. The Doctor, stats are high, possesses Death Call effect on the start. All void damage is moderately increased. Black holes explode on hit. On appearance, randomly generates big black holes. And after a hit, a small chance to generate a big black hole, dealing high area damage with a delay. Alright. So the black hole thing, pretty good. Time manipulation. Manipulate time to nearly still for a few seconds. Grants unlimited ammo in duration. Alright, so that's no different really than the occasional unlimited ammo boost you get on stages. I'm not that impressed by the breakthrough skill. I do like the damage increases in the exploding black holes. I cannot argue against those. Excuse me. So, yeah, as well as the chances for the big black holes. I'm going A tier for the Doctor. All right, next up we got Laserman, aka Temu Iron Man. High stats here. Looking at the skills, high power beam emits a straight laser that penetrates terrain, refracting to nearby enemies on the first hit. Does not work with chase. All right, so we've got by far a faster attack than some of the others because the laser, you know how that is, it's instant. High purity energy, all mechanical damage moderately increased. Number of enemies hit by laser, refraction, and refraction range increased. Support firepower, on appearance launched dozens of tracking missiles. Overloaded beam, attacks, fires, overloaded red laser instead. Direct damage and refraction damage increased. And then for the ultimate, launch multiple powerful laser beams to hit the closest enemies. Alright, targeting the closest enemies is certainly a good thing there. Much better than some of the random targeting we see on some of the others. The nature of the laser beam completely changes the nature of the game, and the fact that it doesn't work with chase at all is a little bit I mean, if you like Chase, then you're not going to like Laserman, but a lot of people don't really like Chase. I'm going S tier for Laserman because you combine those lasers with scatter shots and multi-shots and all that. All of a sudden, you're doing significant damage to a lot of enemies at the same time. Plus high stats. All right, next up we got Wukong, who strangely kind of looks like Gambit. High stats. After hitting the enemy, Jingu Bang ricochets to the right, dealing damage to enemies along the path. Okay, well, multi-shots straight from the get-go without any, or not multi-shot, but essentially splash damage right from the get-go. That's hard to argue with. Body of Vajra reduces all damage taken. External Incarnation summons near a random enemy with each attack. Okay. Multiple incarnations to ambush enemies when entering the battlefield. Incarnation attack damage increases and briefly stuns enemies. And then the breakthrough skill uses the giant Jingu Bang to consecutively strike enemies, dealing extra damage to bosses. So extra damage to bosses is good. This one's got nice splash damage. Reduction to damage taken is good. Summons incarnation near a random enemy. A lot of good damage here. Nothing completely blowing me away, but everything is pretty well-rounded. I'm going to A. Next up, we got the Ninja with the spike shoulder pads like he's a member of KISS. The stats here are medium, 12 and 120. So about the same starting stats that the Snow Queen and the Spartan have. The skills, shurikens bounce between enemies one time. All right, splash damage from the get-go. Shurikens bounce between enemies 2 times. Shuriken damage increases with each bounce. Simple yet satisfying. On appearance, releases a smoke bomb that grants high evade. Shurikens deal greatly increased damage to full health enemies. And then the breakthrough, vanish and assassinate enemies multiple times and then drop a smoke bomb. All right, so nothing too complicated here, but the fact that shurikens starting at just level 5, which anybody who gets a ninja is going to have their main hero at level 5 already, and the level transfers in the main slot, depending on... Yeah, anyways. The fact that one shuriken can damage 3 enemies without any upgrades whatsoever is pretty good. A+ tier. Let's see. Spartan, by the way, I'm moving him down to B tier since I'm moving the 2 starters down to C tier. All right, next up we got Catman. Interesting looking fellow right here. You can get him on day 14 of logging in. Charge Strike, damage increases with charge time. Shattering Strike, full charge increases critical rate. Exoskeleton Power, time required to reach full charge is decreased. On appearance, throw explosive catarangs to closest enemies. And full charge throws explosive catarangs. A lot of emphasis on charging here, so if charging is your game, go with that. Stats are 12 and 120. Katzuka, fire homing missiles, and they explode upon impact. All right, decent. The charging is okay. So much emphasis on that. I don't know about the effectiveness if you don't like to charge, so I'm going B tier here. X-Master or Donald, depending on your version of the game. All right. So 12 and 120. And currency manipulation, gold drop in battle slightly increases. Arms dealer, max ammo +1. Too big to fail. The higher the ammo, the faster it recovers. Meh. On appearance, rains down gold coins. Throw high damage gold wall bricks on full ammo. And then breakthrough throws gold bricks instead in the next few attacks. Return a portion of ammo consumed. Okay. Alright. Well, not all that impressive here, but more gold can be good because you get more upgrades to your heroes, to your talents, to your equipment, etc. But X-Master generally not seen as being very impressive from what I've seen around, and not really blowing my skirt up at all. I'm going C+. Next up, you got Magic Lady. Is it supposed to be designed after Glinda the Good Witch or something? Who knows? Stats are medium, 12 and 120. Skills, you got Rabbit Magic, attack cycle between high damage white rabbits and explosive black rabbits. That's actually kind of legit. 2 different types of attacks right from the get-go. Rabbits ricochet +2, lifetime increases after ricochet. Rabbits grow bigger after ricochet, increasing the damage. Okay. Also probably increasing the target circle. On appearance, summon Rabbit Rain. Rabbit Rain! Okay, yeah. Unlimited vigor after each ricochet. White rabbit damage increases. Black rabbit explosion radius increase. And then for the breakthrough, wave the magic wand to conjure a sudden rain of rabbits falling from the sky. So one of the smart bomb type of breakthrough skills here. Not bad. Overall, I like the explosive rabbits and the higher damage rabbits sometimes happening. Both of them are a bonus compared to your standard, I guess. So I'm going B+ tier for the Magic Lady. Sorry, it's late. And then last up, we got the Werewolf. The Werewolf is pretty low stat, just like the Archer and the Cowboy. So, skill-wise, Blood of Vitality, slight chance to restore a small amount of lost health on attack. All dark damage increased slightly. Continuously drains current health for attack boost. Ineffective on low health. On appearance, enters a frenzy state. Attack deals dark damage. Health restore probability increases as health decreases. Boy, this is a massive a hero. And then the breakthrough, enters a frenzy state to boost attack and reload speed. Attack deals dark damage, greatly increase max health on the first use. Alright, so there are some good points to the Werewolf, but 2 things are working very strongly against it. Number 1, by the time you get the Werewolf, you're going to probably have higher rarity heroes like the Ice Queen and possibly Catman, or excuse me, Snow Queen and Catman. And number 2, some of these skills, like Rage of Wild Blood, continuously drains its current health for an attack boost. Like, you don't want to lose your health as you're going through, even if you're getting an attack boost. So I'm giving the Werewolf a C tier because that's kind of just a weird one. It's got the werewolf has some health boosters, but also some health drainers. And vampire is vampirism, or whatever it's called in other games. Lifesteal, that's what it's called, is extraordinarily easy to get in this game. It's not like it happens rarely. You get the vampirism power up popping up in pretty much every round you play. So the werewolf's main skill is honestly pointless. All right, so that's the list of the best heroes in the game, ranked by tier. Please grab a pen and paper if you want to remember them easier, or type them on your computer. This is Game Hydro. Thank you for watching. Check out our other BOWBLITZ videos. Like and subscribe, and comment if there's other topics about the game that you want to see.